listening to Her Profit Era, the podcast for founders who want a business that actually works, a business that's profitable, predictable, and pays them well. I'm Cindy Kumar, a CPA, a fractional CFO from Abbotsford, BC, Canada. I'm the person founders call when they're tired of high revenue months with no money left over. I started this podcast because too many founders were chasing sales while their margins, cash flow, and bank accounts told a completely different story. I believe profit and money in the bank is the standard, not a bonus, and that every founder deserves clarity around their numbers. Each week, you'll get real financial strategy you can actually use and honest conversations with founders and industry experts about what it really takes to build a business that lasts. Courtney Howell is the co-founder and CEO of Fathoms Skincare, a Newfoundland-based company transforming wild North Atlantic seaweed into bioactive skincare through innovative green extraction. Originally from Louisiana, Courtney's work has always centered on solving real-world problems, from post-hurricane recovery to advancing ocean-based innovation in rural Newfoundland. Inspired by her husband's medical skin challenges, she co-created 7 Fathoms to bring truly effective barrier-focused skincare to the market. The company has since been recognized as a disruptor, doubling revenue year over year and scaling 5x following their appearance on Dragon's Den. Courtney also serves on the board of Oceans Advance, helping shape a new path for rural ocean-based biotechnology grounded in sustainability, science, and care. Hi, Courtney. Thank you so much for joining me on Her Profit Era today.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you, and thank you so much for welcoming me to your podcast.
Could you share a little bit about yourself and how you started 7 Fathoms?
So 7 Fathoms was born actually from another business that we had here, and it actually started out of great need. We had another business here in Grades Cove. Grades Cove is a really small town of about 133 people,
Oh,
right
wow.
on the edge of the Atlantic, and we had a more tourism-based business. I guess we still do, but that is changing now that 7 Fathoms is growing. And we were operating and building that business for years. And the whole time that we were building that business, a big part of our life had to do with chronic illness, like many people. My husband has Crohn's. He has an ileostomy, and he developed an allergy to the plastic in his medical device,
Oh, no.
and it caused a severe case of contact dermatitis on his abdomen. And he was a couple of years going to doctors, going to anyone he could get an appointment with, and taking recommendations on how to treat his skin, and there was nothing that really helped him. And just really one day during the winter, when we were outside of peak season for our tourism business, we were taking a walk with our daughter on our beach, and it was after a big winter storm, and there was seaweed washed up. And Terrence's background is actually in fine arts,
Oh,
and
wow.
so he does a lot of observing of the environment. And when he saw this particular species of seaweed washed up, he was curious by it because it's one he hadn't seen before. And he picked it up and he just saw all of this amazing gel oozing from the seaweed and just started applying that seaweed to his hands and his skin. And he noticed at the beach that it made his skin feel better. So he took it home and he literally put that gel directly onto his abdomen.
Oh, wow.
And he was met with almost an immediate sense of calm of his skin. And in the moment, he thought it was because he was putting something cold on his skin until the
Yeah.
next day his skin was less red.
Oh, wow.
And so he kept applying it. And within a week, it was so obvious that his skin was repairing. And that just started everything. And so it was really out of great need. Um,
Wow, that's such a, like an inspiring story.
it was an incredible time. It was a relief for sure.
And what made you think that you could turn it into like a real business?
Uh, I think at the time, like when that happened, when the seaweed had that kind of impact on his skin, the initial response was, okay, how do we need this?
Yeah.
He needs this in his life to help his own quality of life. Um, and we both joke that we have built businesses on the power of ADHD. So we're always very, very curious. We're always up for a challenge. We're always kind of going after an idea that's in our minds. And that was very true of this time. And when the seaweed had that impact on his skin, we our initial response was, "Oh my gosh, how do we get this gel out of the seaweed so that we can continue using it? Past just picking it up on the beach." Um,
Right.
and so more, it was a response for us to be able to have access to what was helping his skin. But I think probably because we had another business, um, it was kind of just automatic. Oh, okay. When we got to the point of making the extract and then making our first product, it was just very logical for us to put it on the shelves at our business. We have a restaurant, and so we kind of put the product in our little gift shop area of our restaurant. And so our tourists were our first customers. And
Oh,
their
wow.
response was actually the reason why we started to take it to a new level. Yeah.
That's so cool, like how you just found the seaweed and then it led to like a business idea.
It has been a wild journey.
And how long was like the testing process until you could get like the first product launched?
So when that initial experience happened, that was probably, I don't know, January. And it took us probably about 4 months to figure out an extraction process that we were happy with. And we didn't know a lot about extraction at the time, but we knew that we didn't want to conduct extraction in a harsh way because we
Right.
didn't want to denature what we didn't know what was helping him at the time. We understand more about the bioactives in seaweed now, but we didn't have all that knowledge then. We just knew we wanted to protect whatever the goodness was in the
That totally
seaweed.
makes sense.
And so it took us about 4 months to figure out a gentle process that we were happy with, and that still had a very similar response on Terrence's skin as that raw seaweed and raw gel. And then from there, we taught ourselves how to make a lotion. Our seaweed skincare lotion was our first product. So I'd say by July of that year, we were able to start testing it on our customers, through our tourist customers.
That's
But it's been a
amazing.
long. It's so that was really just the beginning. That was the start of prototyping, really.
Right. And then what is it about seaweed that like helps the skin?
So we've learned a lot about seaweed, and more importantly about the bioactives in the past few years. And someone who's helped us tremendously in that is our scientific advisor, who we actually met through our restaurant.
Oh, wow.
um, his name is Dr. Robert Hellier. We refer to him as Bob. Wonderful Bob. He um he was a customer in our restaurant, and he inquired about the lotion and where the seaweed came from, and how we did extraction, uh and he offered to advise us. And when he started advising us, it just opened up this whole new world of understanding what is so special about seaweed. and the bioactives. Um, there's the bioactives in the seaweed are, these are compounds that have been evolving in the species that we work with for millions of years. And what we understand now is that these compounds, and I'll just refer to one of them called fucoidin, it's a world-renowned bioactive compound that is incredibly multifunctional, has so much benefit in and on the body. Um, but these compounds like fucoidin, they've been evolving for the purpose of protecting that seaweed in the wild. So where we are, for example, it's an incredibly turbulent area of ocean where the seaweed grows, and it's very cold, and it meets a whole lot of harsh conditions. And these compounds are, the purpose of them in the wild are to protect the seaweed from UV exposure, from turbulency, um, they help prevent the seaweed from drying out. They just help protect it to be able to continue to thrive. And when you extract them and you do that in a way that doesn't denature them, they have that same kind of impact on the skin. So like I think of these little compounds, I used to refer to them as little workhorses. Um,
Wow.
but even more now, there's a wisdom to them. They have been around for a very, very long time. They have been evolving and perfecting themselves for a long time, and they just seem to kind of know what to do on the skin with helping to build up for this, in our purposes for skincare, helping to build up that outer layer of the skin so that you're not evaporating as much moisture outside of through like cracks and things like that, and also helping to prevent bacteria from seeping into the skin. Um,
Wow,
yeah, that's kind of like their purpose.
it's so interesting that there's so much out there in nature that we just don't know about.
We don't know about. And I think seaweed, I know, and I think we said this, we kind of say this all the time, that we will, I'm sure it won't take very long for seaweed to have its day and have its boom.
Yeah,
I think people are starting to pay attention more to seaweed, and not just as a food source, but as a source for really exploring what these compounds can do in and on the
right.
body. It goes so far beyond food, which is not, I mean, we need seaweed in our diet because it does so
Yeah.
much for our health. But these compounds, I think we're going to learn a whole lot more about them in the coming years and how multifunctional they are and what an incredible um, role they can play in our overall health, for sure.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
Yeah, it
As
is.
someone that struggles with like eczema on my hands, what product would you recommend using?
We usually recommend people start with our seaweed skincare lotion. So we work with two species of seaweed. One is called Laminaria digitata. That's the first species we started working with, and that's what this product is formulated with. So the majority of the formulation is the extract from that species, and it's a nice place to start because Laminaria digitata is an incredibly hydrating and soothing and calming extract. So it's a nice place for people to start, and often is like what meets people's needs and what they need for their
Mhm.
skin. Um, and we usually recommend our Thalasso Restore if they need something like a little bit more. That one has 2 seaweed extracts in it, so you're going to get additional compounds and impact on the skin if you need something like a bit more. But
Mhm.
often that seaweed skincare lotion is just like a nice place to start. You get the calming, you get the hydration, and you get those bioactives.
And then how often would you have to like apply it?
I'm just go by Terrence, like in his experience.
Yeah.
When he started, so once we made the lotion, he started using that on his skin for maintenance because again, he can't avoid the exposure
Right.
uh, to what he's allergic to. And Typically, like in the beginning, he might have used it 2 or 3 times a day, like if the skin barrier was disrupted. But like often it's like once or twice a day, um, as needed. It really just depends on like where your skin barrier is at and what kind of like where you're where the need is.
Right.
For me, like using it, I use it on my face all the time, and it really like for it really like how often I use it on my face really depends often on the climate and the conditions. Like if it's really dry out,
Yeah.
um, I'll use it probably at least twice a day. Um, if but usually like I only use it like once a day on my face, and I don't even use it every single day either. Like once you have a nice like skin barrier that's nice and healthy, you kind of find you don't always need it as much as you used to.
That's so interesting.
Mm.
How long should someone use it before they start seeing like a difference with their skin? Or does it vary person to person?
It definitely varies from person to person. Like we might have someone whose skin barrier is just moderately disrupted, and they may not have a whole lot of other things going on with their
Mhm.
body. Um, and they might see a difference. Like some people see a difference like the next day or after a couple of days. And we do hear that often. For some people, it might take like a week or a couple weeks to see an impact. But often people can tell like within a few days if it's going to be something that's useful for them.
Oh, wow. I'm like excited to try it. What inspired the name Seven Fathoms?
Fathoms just it refers to depth within the ocean, and seven was just a number that was really close to us and lucky to us,
Aw,
and just yeah, just kind of like giving blessing to the business.
wow, that's inspiring and so amazing.
Yeah.
What led you to like applying for Dragon's Den? What was that whole experience like?
It wasn't actually planned. I had been hearing that Dragon's Den was coming to St. John's for auditions. That's our capital city here in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
And, it was in the back of my mind, like, oh, maybe we should do it. And I kind of let that little negative thing um, kind of prevent me from actually pursuing it. But the day of the auditions, we just happened to be doing a wholesale show in the same building.
Oh, wow.
And after the wholesale show, there was still about an hour left of auditions. And Terrence and I just kind of looked at each other and said, let's just give it a shot. Let's just try it.
Yeah.
And I think we were the last pitch of the day, which was funny because we were the last pitch on the day of taping as well.
Yeah.
Um, but we just went in and just went in were ourselves and got a call a couple of days later that we were chosen to film.
That's exciting. And how long was like your prep of like preparing your pitch, understanding the numbers?
We only had about 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It was an intense 3 weeks, and we're really lucky. We're in an incubator program called Emergence, based out of PEI,
Mhm.
and so our mentors and advisors and our team just rallied together in those 3 weeks, and we had um, so many champions behind us helping us to prepare for the pitch, and it helped us in our confidence in being able to present ourselves and the company and the direction that we are taking it.
Wow. The power of community.
We have an incredible community behind us. We really do.
On the day of like actually doing your pitch in front of the dragons, what was that experience like?
It was intense. So we got to the CBC building probably about 11 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't actually film our pitch until probably 4 or 5 o'clock that
Oh,
afternoon.
wow.
So we were just backstage, and so like just saw other companies going in and out of the den with their pitches, and uh, it was it was a very nerve wracking experience. It there was I went in there very, very calm in the morning, and the closer it got to our filming time, my nerves just kind of took
Aw.
over. I don't know if you could notice it or not.
No, you seem really confident.
But I don't think I've ever been so nervous in my entire life.
Wow, and how about Terrence? Was he, like, calm throughout the whole process?
He was similar, but he kept his calm. I think he kept strong to help me through my nerves. Um, and in the end, when we walked into the den, it was a really interesting experience walking in onto the soundstage. Um, you're backstage and there's so much happening. There's
Right.
props being moved around and other people preparing for their pitches. So just not a lot of noise, but this,
Yeah.
things are going on. And when you walk into the den, everything is incredibly quiet, and the lighting is really nice and calm. So when we walked on, it was amazing, like where my nerves had been just so kind of high. When we walked on, everything just calmed down, and it truly felt like we were just talking with the dragons. I really appreciated that part of the experience so much, because
Were you
I felt like I could convey myself and not let my nerves take over.
were you expecting a deal, or was the goal just more awareness on the products?
I didn't know what to expect. And I think that's true of seaweed. Some people really, really take to seaweed and really get it and understand how special it is, and the opportunity that's that is there with these compounds to create products that have a real impact. And some people aren't quite there with it. They still just kind of see it as maybe just something you kick around on the beach, or some people don't have a sense of the value that's in seaweed.
Right.
So our goal was definitely not only to bring awareness to our company, but to seaweed. And we were incredibly grateful for the response from Manji and all of the dragons. Like, we felt like we did our job
Mhm.
to present seaweed and the company, and um, just how special and what an opportunity there is with this resource.
What was it like getting a deal from Engie?
It was amazing. It was incredible. It's um, because we didn't have an idea of how the day was going to go.
Right.
We didn't know if we were going to get grilled, and
Yeah.
if we just didn't know. And when she made the offer, it was we were incredibly grateful, and I was very relieved. Like, I felt like, okay, like it was almost like another point of validation for the company
Right.
to get that response. And yeah, I was really proud.
That's so exciting. And what was it like after the deal kind of closed? Like, I know there's a whole due diligence
Yes.
process. What does that kind of look like?
So yeah, there's months and months of due diligence that
Right.
happens afterwards. Um, and so due diligence continued even after airing. Um, and so it's we're kind of still in that process as well.
Wow. Do you know how long roughly it takes? Or you're still just waiting?
Still just kind of going through the due diligence process, while also having this incredible response after Dragon's Den. It's been beyond what we could have ever expected.
Right. And how do you keep up with like the demand? Because you probably had so much like products being ordered through your website. Like, Were you expecting and anticipating all of that?
We got advice before airing about what we could expect, like what could be the potential low, middle, and high
Yeah.
response. And it went beyond what we got advice for or could have expected.
Wow.
It probably went times 6 or 7 of the high end of what we could have expected. It, yeah, it feels like the way we presented ourselves and the company resonated with a lot of people, and the response is honestly still continuing. It's I have met so many Canadians since mid-October, from all over the country. It's an incredible experience and opportunity to be able to um, you know be able to provide a product for people and just really hope that our products serve them well.
Which product is being ordered like the most?
Our seaweed skincare lotion is still the number one. Very, very close to it is our Thalasso Restore. Um, and then a very close third to that is the spray.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the seaweed care lotion is still the number one. It's kind of like the go-to every day. And but it's been incredible to see how people are using the products.
That's amazing. What's like one money lesson you wish you would have learned sooner?
One money lesson.
Putting you on the spot.
Um, for the business, um, we've had such a big response after Dragon's Den, and like we're like still definitely a growing company. We have like right now we have more opportunity to buy more equipment and buy bulk packaging, to get the cost of the goods down
Right.
and to be able to make product more quickly. I do wish we would have bought this one piece of essential equipment prior to Dragon's Den. It would have really served us well. We have it now,
Yeah.
and it's almost like a present to ourselves because it's providing much relief to everyone, um, and it's allowing us to make product a lot quicker now. But I do wish um, that it's hard when you're a bootstrap company. You think really hard about what you're going to spend money on.
Right.
I think knowing now what I know, I would have bought that piece of equipment before. Like, take the chance on it. You'll get through it. You'll find a way to pay for it. um, that you need some essential things to be able to um, take the chance on growing your business.
Right. And how do you find like managing inventory with cash flow? Because I know that's like a big trial and error as well.
It's it's been, well, I will say, because we've had such a positive response to Dragon's Den, um, we have been able to like order bulk packaging, order more equipment. Um, so our cash flow is a bit better than before. Um, and we've also been a part of National Research Council for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
So they've been supportive of us through commercialization. So having their support and the support of our incubator has been incredible. It's allowed us to build our team. It's allowed us to plan for scaling and commercializing. Um, and now, with the response and with that continued support, it's allowing us to plan,
Wow, that's
which is a
amazing.
gift, to be
Right.
able to not just have a day-to-day response, but to be able to actually take the time to think ahead and what we want and how we want to grow the business and build our capacity.
Have you always worked with like an accountant, a bookkeeper, someone really supporting you on the financial side?
We have, um, um, and we're kind of taking it to like another level now, with getting more help with the planning part.
Right.
Um, but we've worked with an accountant, and I feel like that's definitely an essential part of what every young business needs to have. Um, because there's only so much you can do yourself too, you know.
Yeah, totally.
No, it's essential.
What advice would you give to like another founder that's in a product-based kind of business?
Ah, what advice would I give to another founder? Um, I think like if you're going down the journey of product development and building a business around your passion, um, and maybe I'll frame that a different way. Like we live in a really rural place. And so I don't get to see a whole lot of other founders all the time. And that's through both of our businesses. And when I do get to see other founders, it's almost a relief because you realize what everyone is going through and experiencing. Being an entrepreneur it's a different kind of life journey.
It definitely is.
And it's not the same as having a 9 to 5 job. It's something, especially in the beginning, that demands so much of yourself, and it demands that you learn a lot about yourself so that you can keep building the company, because what's required of you in the beginning is vastly different than what's required of you to scale your business or to get to a new level. So I think what I have accepted is that I have to continue to accept that change is a part of this process forever,
Right.
and that getting to know myself and the new skills that I need to learn will be a forever part of this process. But that's part of the beauty of it too, you
Yeah, I
know?
feel that's such
Yeah,
great advice.
and it's meant for some people to do, and you kind of know if that's meant for you. And if you have an idea and you accept the challenge of just being able to face the demands, it can be an incredible life experience.
That's such great advice.
Mm.
Is there anything you would do differently other than that one equipment purchase?
Uh, I think what I'm working on right now is um, just taking on the mindset of being fearless.
Mhm.
Um, and I think in the early part of this, I spent so much time worrying about money. Where's it going to come from? How are we going to get to the next step? I mean, it's a valid fear,
Yeah.
but being afraid instead of just facing it didn't serve me well.
Mhm.
Um, Accepting what the challenges are. It's not that you're not going to face the challenge. It's just that I wish I hadn't brought so much fear along the way because it just kind of delayed, you know,
Yeah.
getting past the challenge.
How do you and Terrence like divide like your roles in the company?
So his role is definitely product development, and he's in the lab. He's doing extraction. He's leading our other team member through it as well. He oversees product development. Um, that's definitely his role. My role is definitely on that CEO administrative side, um, uh, strategizing next steps for the company, um, making sure the team has everything they need. Um,
Yeah.
we definitely make good partners that way because we have different skill sets. Uh, yeah, like I definitely could not do what Terrence does,
Yeah.
and I don't think he would want my job at all. But I like my job.
Yeah. How is it like separating like your business life with your personal life, like since you have built your business with your spouse?
I don't know that there's any real separation, honestly. Um, I don't know that there's a great separation. I think now, um, and I don't know that there's honestly there's any real balance. Like this is just our life. This
Mhm.
is what we do. This is what is involved in our relationship. Like we've always pursued something as a couple. You know, we've pursued our first business together. Well, we first pursued moving to this rural environment and accepted the challenge of having to build our own business so that we could stay here. And then once we started working with seaweed, it just became the our new challenge and new way that we work together, and really how it grows our relationship. You know, we talk about that a whole lot, that it's amazing. It's just an amazing journey that we're on together. But I think what we do now, our daughter is graduating high school this year,
Oh, wow.
and so we try not to make every single second of the day about the business. We try to, even in the in the evening, just have more time to spend with her, knowing that she's going off to university after this year. So that's been a real that's that's knowing that she's going off to university soon, and that she won't
No.
be here all the time, has been kind of like a little wake up call for us, that okay, we need to take some time to do something outside of work. So we just try to build in some meaningful family time, really.
That's so awesome. What's
Yeah,
next for like Seven Fathoms? Like, are you expanding into more products, collaborations, just expanding like Canada wide or US?
definitely. So, I guess the next big thing, we have learned so much through this response after Dragon's Den, and it's really added to what we were already learning from our customers. Um, so probably the next big thing is that we'll, in the first quarter of next year, we're going to do not a product relaunch, but a label relaunch. And it was actually one of the recommendations we got during filming of Dragon's Den. Um, and we're going to do this relaunch of the labels and packaging. Packaging, number one, so that we can have a bit more sustainable packaging. Um, and label redesign so that we can prepare to get on more shelves. Um, so yeah, preparing for distribution, really. And for products, we're hoping at the end of Q1 or beginning of Q2 to launch our lip balm, which our
Oh, wow.
customers are asking a lot about. And then hopefully we'll be able to release one or two more products throughout 2026.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
What
but
is the
it's
best?
fun. Oh,
What is
sorry.
best? That's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, we're in distributor discussions now, and yeah, just enjoying continuing to build our online business too.
That's so exciting. And I'm sure like once that deal with Manji goes through, there's going to be so much other stuff going on too.
Yeah.
What is the best way for our listeners to like connect with you and like buy your products or even learn more about them?
So definitely through our website, 7fathomseaweedskincare.com. We get a lot of messages on our Facebook and Instagram pages, lots and lots of emails, um, and phone calls.
That's so amazing. And I feel like you guys are super responsive. Like I sent an inquiry about getting you on the podcast as a guest just to learn more about you and your products. And I heard back like right away.
It's been a priority to like to be able to respond to customers and inquiries as quickly as possible. It's not always that fast, but we try really hard to respond to customers and inquiries as soon as possible, because business is about building relationships with people.
Yeah, totally. I will share all of Courtney's details in the show notes. Thank you so much, Courtney.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season.
If you're a founder who wants real strategy, not noise, and you want someone in your corner helping you build a business that feels aligned, is profitable, and actually supports your life, you can apply for CFO on Call. This is my one-on-one financial partnership for established founders, typically making between $500K to $2 million, who want clarity, who want structure and confidence with their numbers. The link is in the show notes so you can schedule a profit strategy call, or you can DM me CFO on Instagram at @CindyKumar and I'll send over all the details.